Welcome back to Collect the Disconnect. My name is OG Guac 420, and on today's episode, we're finally going to be making my most anticipated custom project for my collection. This is, of course, going to be a giant LED lit moon display to be mounted with my McFarlane DC Multiverse Batwing. And of course, this is paying homage to that amazing Batman 89 movie scene where the Batwing flies right in front of a full moon. This scene is also recreated in the brand new Flash movie, not as prominently as the 89 movie, but it is a cool moment in that movie for sure. So that is the main inspiration for this custom today. I knew way back when I actually pre-ordered the Batwing from McFarlane Toy Stores that I was going to be making this moon project. There was no way I was just going to mount this Batwing just by itself on my bare wall. So really happy to get this project started. Finally, I did the initial unboxing and comparison with the Spin Master one versus the McFarlane one, but ever since that video, this Batwing has been in box, in storage. So kind of sad, but kind of bittersweet that it's finally coming out to be mounted officially on this giant moon. So real quick before the video starts, as you can see, I am wearing the official Strong Collectors Podcast t-shirt. Be sure to follow those guys on YouTube. They have an amazing podcast. Two guys, Jordan and Dakota, talk about everything action figures from McFarlane DC Multiverse, Marvel Legends, and even Mythic Legion. So if you guys are a fan of those, be sure to check those guys out. I will be leaving their link in my description for sure. And also, speaking about podcasts, let me just go ahead and get this plug in real quick. I will be on the Overgrown Third Graders podcast this Thursday. I believe it's at 8 p.m. Central Time, which is my time. So if you guys want to see your boy on his first ever live stream podcast, be sure to swing by, ask me any questions you want. I really appreciate you guys for showing support. So let's not waste any more time. And without further ado, let's get it cracking. Alrighty guys, so here's all the tools I used to construct this big ass moon. All in all, I believe it cost me probably like under 50 bucks. Could have been cheaper, but I had to buy some extra tools to cut these screws because my dumbass lost the actual screws and anchors that came with the Batwing itself. So I will be leaving links in the description for everything I have here. Pretty simple, pretty straightforward. This is some PEX tubing from Home Depot. I believe it's only about $4. And the entire circumference of this circle is 10 feet. So they actually sold 10 feet tubing at Home Depot. So pretty badass. So as you can see right there, I actually inserted a 1/2 inch piece of PEX tubing into this 3/4 inch PEX tubing to actually connect it. But there is a slight bend to it. When I initially did this, I thought the circle was still kind of perfect looking. But after stretching out that curtain over there and stapling it, the circle became a little bit more imperfect, which you know, it's okay with me. It does look pretty badass, but it is, like I said, an imperfect circle ultimately. So you live and you learn. So right here, I'm just gonna real quickly show you guys the process of actually stapling the curtain to the tubing itself. The most important thing about this is whichever end you staple first, you gotta staple the opposite end after for the entire circle. So if you're doing the left, you gotta do the right after, and vice versa. Like I said, I don't show you the entire process, but I do insert staple about every 1/2 inch around the entire diameter. So here is the complete product right here. It looks pretty amazing in person and like this without the actual lights on. Like I said, the circle itself did not turn out perfect, which I am kind of bummed about, but I can live with it. So it looks pretty amazing for the price and, you know, for what purpose it's actually serving, which is just to be a background piece from Batwing itself. So like a dumbass, I did end up losing that little bag that came with the Batwing itself that had the screws and the anchors to actually mount this bad boy and attach it to the Batwing. So I had to go run back to Home Depot and find some screws that fit in the actual portholes and then proceed to actually cut off the bolt heads on that. So overall, this cost me about a couple more dollars to actually do this, but don't lose those freaking screws, those anchors, because you will pay for it, I guess. Right here, I'm actually seeing if there's any studs where I want them. And of course I knew there wasn't going to be, so I knew I actually had to use some anchors to actually put the screws in there. So I use these right here, also from Home Depot as well. So those came in clutch for sure. Now the Batwing right there is centered, and here's how it looks without the moon in the background. Still pretty damn amazing piece. $250 for sure overpriced, but man, this thing does have a shelf presence, or well, I guess wall presence right here in my collection. Really hyped to actually have it, man. Still kind of hard to believe right now looking at it that's actually on my wall, just like I envisioned it. So here we go, guys. The complete project. I did put some cheap LEDs from Amazon around the entire circumference on the inside of the tubing, and like I said, you can see that bend on the right. Doesn't look as bad in person, but you can obviously see it on camera. Like I said, I am bummed about that, but it's still an amazing piece. I think I will be adding some type of material in the back to actually diffuse the lights a little bit more better. Right now you can see every individual light, but these lights are honestly pretty badass. I love the red that's on this moon. I actually had it red the entire day I installed this bad boy, so honestly, pretty amazing piece. I'm pretty sure any collector would love to have a giant moon with a Batwing displayed on top. So there you guys have it, the final resting place for my McFarlane DC Multiverse Batwing. And spoiler alert, if you guys haven't watched The Flash, this Batwing gets destroyed just like the other movies, so super funny that this Batwing can never survive a freaking movie, but here it is on my wall, looking pretty damn amazing. You guys have any questions about this project, if you guys want to make your own, feel free to ask me in the comments. I will go ahead and answer every single question that anybody has. I also might be making a custom Batcave kind of diorama for that shelf that Keaton's on right now, for the Batmobile and some other Batman figures. If I don't end up doing that, I'm just going to be moving my entire DC Multiverse collection on that shelf right there. So those are my future plans for sure. But yeah, guys, I appreciate you guys for watching. Thank you guys for all the love and support, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.
You have just witnessed another episode of Collect to Disconnect.